more and more of those kind of sites coming out, which is really good for the community. People like, it's really great for a lot of new players playing WoW, or people that want to get into PvP, or people that are already in PvP and wanted to, improve. I know when I was like starting, there used to be I don't know what it was called. It was Nadagas and Hundreds team. They had a website. I'm not sure I remember what it's called, but there was a website that they had that kind of had forums and stuff on it that I used to check out when I was a noob, back when all the old MMGs was going out. So that's kind of what I did. So if you're, PvP player, I recommend checking those all out. Seeing what's good and, following the good players and seeing what they have to say. It does help a lot.
Yeah, definitely can make a big difference, I think. And so we are going to be going into Group B, guys. And if you want to find the team list, there's not really brackets, but there is a team list, and I can just drag it over on the screen. You guys can see it. But it is just ProGameX.com/wow_tournament. If you want to see all the teams, we just did Group A, which is just it's really match A. It's not really, it's just one match. We are going to be doing Group B next, and we're just going to be going through it today. And then there is going to be a losers bracket as well as the kind of the winners bracket and everything. I'm not sure exactly how that is all matched up, but this is what we have. And you can see that there's a number of different players in here. Like probably the biggest names is going to be PvPratings.com. That is Bluckstack, Hexer, and Shirley Bartome. They're going to be playing together, so that's definitely a really well-known team. But Swapsy, he's a pretty big name as well, having played at BlizzCon and everything. And there's definitely some names that people are going to be recognizing from previous tournaments as well. Foxita, they played in the League of Arenas tournament. Zeepai is a name I recognize, and so on and so forth.
I think Zeepai is that shaman from the recently winning Minpoike's LSD team. I think he's that shaman from that team.
Oh, okay.
Pretty sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
maybe not wrong. Maybe I'm completely wrong, but I think it might be. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I do have the players' names now, so I think we can actually queue it up. Oh my god, there's crazy accents. Let me copy that. Let's see. Okay. And I think we should be good. I'm going to queue them in, and we'll see that they're ready. All right, so
there's a lot of comp variety in this tournament. That's one thing that I noticed, which is nice.
Yeah, no, it is fun. It's a lot more interesting if you don't just see mirrors every game. I think. I've never really liked mirrors. I don't really like playing them. I don't really like watching them for the most part. Some can be interesting, but
it's like as a good mirrors I think are RMP. That's a pretty fun to watch sometimes. And other than that, maybe RLS isn't too bad, but
RLS was never that interesting to me because as far as mirrors go, because it was really, for the most part, just kind of one-shotting each other's shaman.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's true.
But
first kind of one.
Yeah. I mean, it was just kind of, I don't know. It's okay. I personally enjoy there are some exciting wizard comps, and some of the best games I've ever seen have been wizard cleaves and stuff like that. But wizard cleaves can kind of get a bad beat just because I think the teams that they're obviously really good, they're rank 1 and stuff, but they're maybe not world elite, best in the world wizard cleaves. Those games tend to kind of go really long, and not as much happens. Yeah, exactly. So anyway, we'll see what's going to happen here. Katasora is just going to be charging on in. It is going to be the Death Grip right away onto Healing Stat here, the Shadow Priest. So they're going to be going hard onto him. He's going to be popping all his cooldowns immediately. We just see the Asphyxiate over on a Banana Split. Gargoyle, everything having been popped already. A nice Nova on a Katasora, though. We do see the Shackle coming out on the Gargoyle. Will that be dispelled off? Hopefully, because, the Gargoyle does do so much damage here early on, and the Shackle is actually not being removed at all, so this Gargoyle is kind of being wasted here. We see the Orb coming out now, and the Silence. The Hodge comes out on Katasura. Really good coordinated swap over on here. He does have to actually get out of there. The AMS is going to be broken through immediately. Ironbark coming out there from Shake Mouth. Shake Mouth is going to be cloned up as well, so nicely played there by them. Terrax does get his Trinket and reclone him on that, so pretty well played.
Yeah, great job from that DK. He didn't end up stealing that AoE fear from the Shadow Priest and ended up clearing the pally of this enemy team. So really, really great play by him, just kind of noticing when that Priest is running in. But godcomp, I notice, always has insane opening pressure bursts, so that was kind of it there. And we do see the pressure kind of rolling back onto them. We do see the Mage dropping down really, really low. Might be forced to Ice Block. No, huge heals coming from this pally. Great coordination by them, dropping down to 100k, but not feeling scared enough to actually Ice Block. And Katsura dipping down, 240k, 210k, dipping down super, super low. The grinding totem popped by this LA Shaman of the Druid Shaman DK team. And earlier we did see a really great play from this godcomp. What they ended up doing is what I think they're going to do a lot in this match is they imp CS the LA Shaman, silence the DK, and deep freeze sheep the Druid, so kind of throwing out that triple CC. No one can kind of stop it, but the sack thrown out onto Healing Stat. The pally feels like B pressure just coming. The Guardian is ended up being popped, so Silence coming out of the Shaman, deep ring on the Druid. That's kind of the CC I was talking about. We do see the Shaman pop by the Shaman instantly. DP coming in, dipping down super, super low. We do see the Stormform used to kind of, break off that Devouring Plague. And Trinket comes out on that Hodge. Full Fear on the Druid. Tremor Totem being thrown down. Good job breaking that up. And, this pressure from the Pally God Comp, when they do that, every 30 seconds, I believe, the MCS, into the deep CC on the Druid is going to be receiving the pressure. So maybe next time, no Shamroll, no Trinket from this other Shaman. Could see huge things going on to him. With the Druid still having his Trinket and block, and IBF, but maybe not. The DP comes in, dipping down to 110k. Druid is having a Shadow Melt. It's just, is end up sitting that silence, not feeling scared of the Trinket. Shaman, being picked up by those rejuvenations, sitting kind of, back in, a pretty defensive position. The Hex comes in onto the mage, stopping all that pressure, and I think we're gonna have to see this this Druid Shaman team gonna have to do something, aggressive here, because this Pally team seeming to sit pretty comfortable. The Pally has most of, his break cooldowns. He doesn't have much of his healing cooldowns left, but his breaks are still up.
Yeah, definitely. And honestly, on a lot of these swaps, when the DK got really low, when the Shaman got really low, the mage is really getting no damage out. He's been getting kited. He was out of LOS of people and things like that. So the Palm Sheep does come off the deep freeze. Now they're going to be putting a Hodge over onto Walrix and trying to get some big damage out on him. Now it's going to be over onto the DK. We see him down MCS. The Devouring Plague does come out. He's down to 200k HP. Not sure if he has the AMS available. It does come up now. The Sound's over onto Terraix and on this Druid. And he actually Iron Barked himself by accident there, which is a pretty big mistake, honestly. But Shake Milk is the one getting the worst end of this exchange. The Asphyxiate does come out on Banana Split. Clone going to follow that up. The Ice Block comes out here from Shake Milk, and it looks like Banana Split's just going to be able to sift through that. Healing stat pretty low, though. The Pally is going to be able to top both up here as the CCs do end. But yeah, when this Shatter Play can really connect and both their players can kind of get a lot of damage out, I think they could get a kill. We do see the Deep Freeze looking like it's going to be a Fear off of that. Yep, the Fear does come in onto the Druid, and this Ellie Shaman could be in trouble. We do see the Iron Bark goes up. It was actually a trinketed Fear there by the Druid, so forcing out that cooldown is very, very big. And we do see that the Iron Bark is about to expire. Everyone's pretty much topped off. We may have to see a second block here, actually, though. Warmaster does come out from Banana Split, as he did sit through that as Asphyxiate, but pretty dangerous sitting through that as Shake Milk got very, very low. It is going to pay off, though, as he does hold on to that trinket.
Yeah, I think one of the great things about this godcomp is they have been playing together so long. The synergy is super, super great. But we do see the full clone coming out on Banana Split. Maybe the pressure going to be thrown onto this mage. They only forced one Ice Block, but the full Fear does come out. That should be Tremor. It's just Tremor before the Silence, so great job by the Shaman. The dude has no more CC breaks, so he's going to be very, very careful. And the godcomp, is kind of throwing this pressure back. That's what I kind of love about this game. What I love about godcomp is every 30 seconds you're kind of going to see that flow of momentum going on to this enemy team. Every 30 seconds that Deep Freeze, that MCS, that Silence, that Hodge is coming back up, and that's when you're kind of throwing the pressure. And until then, they're playing defensive, and the Pally, he's popping out healing cooldowns. He pop Guardian Wings and Divine Favors. Those are two huge 3-minute cooldowns being popped by him. Healing stat, sitting around 90%. This Druid Shaman team's not doing too much. It's basically when they're really gonna get that full hex on the mages, when they're gonna be looking to push in or even using that defensive. The Fear comes out the MCS onto the Resto Druid. We're gonna have to see what this godcomp does here with that MCS. It doesn't look like too much. They're not really playing too. And actually, that's because the pressure is coming in onto their mage. Mage dipping around 150k HP. Being topped off here by the Holy Pally. He actually is not running this Holy Pally, kind of like mastery talent. He's running a different one, which is a longer cooldown. So that's kind of an interesting choice by him. But the full clone does come out. This Druid Shaman team kind of pushing in here. The ring thrown defensively on the pillar. It is a fake ring, though, does not end up being thrown down. And really not too much is going on right now. The Druid Trinket seems to be coming back up soon for this this LA Shaman team, so they've been playing super defensive, kind of waiting that out, knowing that without that Druid Trinket, that's his only CC break, except for ones that are stunned, so they have to be super careful. The Priest is running here, though, looking for the full Fear. Maybe the Cross CC is going to come out on the Shaman, but no, not able to actually end up getting that full Fear. The Shadow Priest, I do believe, is going to go for a Priest soon, and there's the full Fear. We'll have to see if they're able to cover that, but I think the Shaman is out of range for Tremor Totem, so he's not going to be broken out of that Fear. And there it is.
They're actually looking to swap over onto him, trying to get some damage out on him. And he did use that Symbiosis IBF, so his Trinket is back. He doesn't have Iron Bark just yet, but Shadow Priest is going to get feared up. He's going to be bashed off that. Will Trinket immediately, dropping the Siphene. NS Clone on that Trinket, though, and Shake Milk here in some trouble. Is down very, very low. Katasura was chasing after him, but the bot came out, and knowing that he's going to get topped off, he did pull back. But Shake Milk is holding on to 5 Icicles rather here. He has these full Icicles. He has his cooldowns up. He could definitely go for some massive bursts here. Cold Snap coming back up for him as well, and he has been holding on to it, waiting to get that damage out. We'll see when he's going to actually unleash them. They're starting to actually expire. He's waiting so long. There's the orb coming out for him, but he is actually caught on an NS Hex on his orb. Really nicely played there by Walrix. who's going to shut down that burst basically completely. Ascendance has been popped by him as well. Deep Freeze did come out onto the Druid, but he's going to be able to sit through that, and that was actually such a good hex. It completely shut down that swap, and look how low they got even without the mage getting any damage. Both the DK and the Shaman got down to about half HP, and DK caught out way too far. Now may actually go down here. 20k HP gets so low. The AMS just coming out in time, and Shake Milk now. What is the damage? Went down to about 20k HP instantly. And 68 comes out on a banana split, and the ice block is forced. And was that stolen? I'm not sure. Almost, at least. The Dark Sim is up there.
Yeah, I'm not sure if it was stolen. It was really close, but we do see the full coming on banana split, and this Palia is doing a really good job. Kind of just like rotating through his cooldowns. He's kind of like using like one set of 3-minute cooldowns, using another set of 3-minute cooldowns. Kind of like break up this pressure as much as he can. So good job by him. But the Heart of the Wild was needed to be popped on Katsura when he's dipping really low. But the DKP comes in. We're gonna have to see if they're able to get any. You see there, it's a deep freeze onto the Resto Druid. He's gonna have to trinket that. So Trinket and IBF is done. We do see a DR Hodge coming into that. Great job by this Holy Palia, trying to play aggressive. We do see the Hex coming out onto Shake Milk, the Asphyxiate coming into the Palia. That's double CC, so it's a 3-on-1, but it does end up breaking off now. Hex breaks on damage, and we're gonna have to see what this Godcomp's gonna do, because I feel like their offensive clones are gonna be coming back here pretty soon. I mean, the Frost Orb was broken up by the Hex last time, but that Hex was just used, so I do believe Frost Orb should be back up for this mage. So we're gonna have to see if they're gonna be able to play offensive. I do believe the kill target is probably gonna be this DK, but I find it a very effective strat. Oh my god, healing stat dropping down to 70k, being picked up with very good heals from his Palia. Not sure if he actually had to disperse there, or if he has it up even. So great job by this DK team. Getting that random pressure. Those early Shaman Lava Bursts are super scary. So have to see.
He actually didn't even use his disperse, so pretty risky. But he is going to hold on to that, which is very nice. We see that Walrix actually popping his Shamal and catches the Iron Bark, but they're kind of on Katasura more. So I'm not sure if that was just they misread that situation or exactly what happened there. But everyone is topped off for now. Neither team net really seems to be able to finish anyone off. There's been close calls on both sides, but no one really able to quite finish. And healing stat now once again getting kind of low here. He's going to pull back though. A banana split actually does pop his PvP trinket there. As he was feeling a little bit nervous to heal through this, and Shake Milk getting pretty low as well. And banana split is actually starting to here. This is the first time we've actually seen a healer kind of really losing mana at all. And we do see that there's the IBF once again on that deep freeze from the Druid. He's going to get feared off on that though. Has no trinket available. Can they actually catch up to anyone, get any damage out here? It looks like the ring does land. The grip came in a second too late there from Katasura, unfortunately for him, and Shake Milk going to be hexed offensively. Turex may just go down though. Oh my god, that damage on the Druid just got absolutely blown up there, and I did not see that coming at all, man. He just got destroyed at the end. They forced out that IBF, on that CC earlier, and I guess he just didn't really have anything left.
Yeah, great job. I mean, I feel like the setup was coming because the Druid was put into that big CC chain, and we didn't see anyone else on the team, dipping low. They weren't using any of their damage buttons on the DK or on the Shaman. They weren't using any of those DPs, the orbs. The mage wasn't using his procs, and they were all sitting at 100%. So that's what kind of led me to think that they were going to set up on that Druid. And by forcing that IBO just before his trinket came back up, it was a perfect situation for them. So great job by them, kind of capitalizing on that. But that was really actually close, I think, to being over for their team, because the Pally had 20k mana left, and with the DK doing as much spread pressure as he did, and with the Shaman, kind of doing the burst damage that he does, it's super hard to heal through that as any healer. I've fought against it before as a healer. It's really difficult. So I think if the DK Ali Shaman was able to last, until the Druid had the trinket back up, if that swap wasn't as effective, I think the Pally team could have been in really big trouble really soon.
What's actually shocking to me is that the Shadow Priest did way more damage than the DK.
Yeah, Shadow Priest here is insane.
Yeah, Shadow Priests are actually do so much damage now. It's actually crazy. They have so much single target damage, and they're they actually do insane DPS too. They do more DPS than Warlocks now, and they have insane burst.
I'm not sure if that's a bug, but it says its highest damage dealt was 324,000. I don't think that's correct.
That was probably maybe on something like one of the
maybe like a Hill on a pet or something.
Yeah.
That had no result.
That must be a no resilience hit on something. I'm not sure what didn't have resilience. Is there maybe can't even think.
No, I don't even know.
I'm not sure. Maybe some sort of a totem hit or something like that. The other numbers all seem pretty reasonable. I mean, 85,000 I can see that from the mage. 100k I can see that from an Ellie. I mean, mind you, this is all fully geared. 167,000 from the DK. That would be like a Soul Reaper crit or something. But that would mean, I don't know how they didn't die.
I'm surprised the DK guy didn't know it damaged the Shadow Priest.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
I mean, wow. DKs are usually the lords of damage, dude. I don't know if he was doing something wrong or like, or if it was just because he was so scared or what. But that's like even though I know Shadow Priests are pretty powerful, like I think they're really good. Even though
Yeah, I
a
think
lot of
another
people
thing for the
complain about
DK
them
is
being
that
bad, but
it's hard to hit. I think DK has a problem with mobility right now, and I think for some mage you can't really move much as a DK, so maybe that's why his damage wasn't really reflecting as much as it normally does. Because
yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure though. But yeah, it was a back and forth game, very much so, especially when Gargoyle was up. Like you saw, like you were mentioning at one point, like both teams were just dying at the same time, like dipping down super low.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. Okay, by the way, guys, you can follow ProGameX. It's on Twitter. It's at ProGameX.com on Twitter, so you guys can check them out there. You know, if they have more tournaments, if they have more updates for you, you should definitely follow them on there on Twitter. And we'll put that in chat for you guys so you guys can see the Twitter. It's just like that. And once again, the website is ProGameX.com. Pretty straightforward. As soon as we do get the map choice, we will be able to hop on into the next one. But yeah, I mean, looking at the damage numbers, you know, just throughout the game, it really didn't seem like just that the DK Ellie didn't seem like they had the kind of pressure that I was expecting them to have. You know, they didn't really have that kind of big pressure for the most part.
I think a large part of that is like they don't really have too much CC for their Holy Pally because you know there is a decurse, so all hexes are going to be having to go into that mage, and they really only have Asphyxiate Cyclone. And I think Holy Pally, you know, even though he was running with the amount of heals that they're able to pump out with all the cooldowns that he's running, I feel like you know there's not much that the team can do. I feel like Holy Pally should be able to keep their team topped if they're not getting CC'd too much. That's the one benefit of playing with the Pally healer.
Yeah, I mean, what do you think about you know, the Druid trying to play a little bit more aggressive, get a bit more CC onto that Pally? Because
I think it's actually fine for the Druid to play aggressive once the deep freeze and the MCS kind of have been thrown out of the way for that window. I think it's actually good for I think clones on the mage would be very effective. Kind of shutting down the damage and trying to maybe even switch over onto the priest or the paladin, getting pressure that way with just spam CC like hex into the mage into a full cyclone and I don't know, into another cyclone, something like that. Just that 13 seconds would a lot of them force a lot of pressure on that priest, and even like maybe hit the pally, just kind of because since if you're CCing the mage, the pally is going to be free. So maybe even just hitting that pally, to pressure him, and you'll have the interrupts for him. So I think maybe that could be a strategy that they're might look to do, which I think would actually be extremely effective. But we'll have to see because they weren't really playing too aggressive. They seem to be playing really conservative, really held back. But obviously the godcomp does have a lot of damage, so it's understandable.
Yeah, yeah. I mean that is really the scary part. Like we saw how some of those burst opportunities, and like I said, it was like Shadow Priest was literally soloing people. Like someone would get to 20% HP, and I was following the mage for most of that game, and the mage wouldn't do one ice lance, and the Shadow Priest would get someone at 20% HP. Like so, I mean, if the mage is getting out damage too, I feel like someone's just going to be like so overkilled that it's not even funny. Like you're just so dead. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Because like for example, there was one time where the Shadow Priest literally, like, the Shaman walled, the Shadow Priest got him to 20%, and the Mage was chasing after the Shadow Priest, or after the Shaman the entire time with 5 Icicles and Orb Up, and never got one hit on him. And it's like, if you connect together with that kind of damage, they're just dead, dude. Like,
yeah. Well, one of the things that I actually saw in a forum, it's kind of like a PvE thing, but someone was talking about Krill, and said that the fact that with the right RNG as a Shadow Priest, with the way that their mastery works, which makes dots proc twice, with a DP, instead of the normal 50-50 split, it hits 50% for the first tick, like with the initial hit, and then 50% of the dot, you're actually able to get a 25% hit. So if something say hits for 100k, you can actually get up to a 75% tick rate, which is insane. Like,
I mean, Shadow Priest literally can just solo people if they get the proper crits and stuff.
Yeah,
and that's one of the scary part about one of these setups that they can just hang around for a long time. It's why Shadow Priest Rogue was really scary for a long time, because no matter how ahead you are and no matter how the game's going, there's always the chance of just dying instantly. Especially when they're playing with a pally. We have to remember they have the additional mastery from Blessing of Might. Which is normally they'd be playing with a druid. So this is actually a higher damage version of that comp. Playing with the Holy Pally, because they do give them the same amount of mastery as a paladin does. It's like, or as a shaman rather, it's extra 3,000 mastery or whatever. So. The burst is pretty insane, and they're gonna have to be really careful. Blaze Edge is the choice, which totally makes sense. Having Thunderstorm for knockoffs and everything like that, I think it's a pretty good choice.
Yeah, I think Blaze is a really big choice. We see them kind of like going in the Shadow Priest, which I completely agree with. Trying to shut down that Shadow Priest should be their strategy. We did see how much pressure he was able to put out, but now it's going to be kind of on the mage. The Gargoyle is popped on the mage, so we're looking to get over him. The Warlock or the the Shaman is throwing his Lava Burst on him with the Flame Shock. Flame Shock's being thrown up to 2 targets here. The Pally is going to pop his talent cooldown, you know, getting that Holy Power, you know, healing as much as he possibly can against these cooldowns. So the God Comp is going to be playing super defensive here. We do see the defensive tier thrown out onto the Shaman being dispelled off, but the full shape comes out on the dispel, so looks like the DK will be sitting that, and you know, just kind of playing super defensive on this enemy team's cooldowns. The God Comp is.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, I think it's really the way you should play. I honestly think that even killing off the Gargoyle is worthwhile, but there's the MCS. The Shadow Fiend comes out as well onto Walrix, and they're trying to get a lot of damage out onto him, but it seems like that was a bit wasted as they had no CC onto the Druid at all. But look at this damage on Katasura. He's in a lot of trouble. He does get silenced. He's getting bursted down so hard, but a massive NS crit does top him right back to full. That was like a 400,000 or 500,000 NS crit. We see the deep freeze onto this Druid now, and they're going right back onto Walrix, and he's taking so much damage, and it's down to 200k, and the Druid really started to struggle to heal through this. He does get sheeped up, and now the Shaman Rage does come out. He's going to pop his Ascendus as well, trying to get offensive, trying to turn some of this pressure around on a Shake Milk, who does have the Trinket. He's trying to get out of there. Banana Split going to pop his Guardian as well, and although they've had some really close kill opportunities here, the Shatter Play team, this Pally's mana is actually being burned through very quickly.
Yeah, it's being really super fast, and you said they did have that super offensive gameplay, but he did have to treat, he had to pop his guard, he had to use so many cooldowns, and they're on the back foot. I mean, look at them, they're all dipping around 80%. They're kind of, you know, they're using this cubby hole, which, you know, is good for LOS, but it's kind of like opening them up to that spread pressure that this Shaman team does have. But you see the Deep Freeze coming out, it's going to be IBF'd off by that Druid, that Devouring Play coming out on that Shaman, dipping low, but that IBF used to counter that Deep Freeze, so the No Sheep was able to come off that, and, you know, the pressure coming up, but the healing stat is, you know, triggering that Cyclone, trying to play aggressive, trying to be in the face of that Druid as much as you possibly can, you know, playing super up there, and that's what all good Shadow Priest should do. You know, they have to be playing super aggressive when their CC is up and trying to, you know, utilize it to the much. You have to fear on cooldown because Tremor Totem is such a powerful, you know, thing to counter that they need to be doing it. But the drip does come in on Shake Milk here. He is being freed out of there, so good job by the Pally. Put into the asphyxiate. The bop does come out, so good job recognizing that you can bop while you're asphyxiated. But put into the Cyclone out of that asphyxiate, but Shake Milk is bop, so, you know, maybe not the most effective Cyclone, but a really good bop thrown up by him, you know, but they're trying to force cooldowns. That's what this DKL is trying to do. They're trying to rot, and they're trying to force through cooldowns and try to, you know, play as defensive as possible. But we do see the Deep Freeze comes out of this Druid, the huge damage coming to the Shaman. The DP comes into the fear.
Hex, though,
that silence on yeah, very good hex.
Really good hex, and I mean, he had 5 icicles. Like, once again, like, look at this damage on you know, the Shaman got to half instantly, and the Mage had 5 icicles still, and now he's shooting them out onto the DK, who's getting bursted down very hard. He wasn't that MCS, went down instantly to about 200k, and that's what I'm talking about. You know, that's the scary part. If they can either connect at the same time, either one of them could get you to like 30%. So if they both connect, you're just dead. But Shake Milk taking a ton of damage here. Banana Split gonna have some work to do to pick him back up. He gets gripped back in on that blink, so it's gonna be taking a lot of damage, and it's kind of just out in the middle of the map. The Gargoyle is gonna be popped here as well. Could be in some trouble. Nice Thunderstorm does come out there from the Ellie Shaman, and Shake Milk just kind of walking forward, spamming out those spell steals, and being healed through this by Banana Split, but he's taking a massive amount of damage, and that's why we see the mana kind of going down. And at the same time, healing stat did get a little bit low, but Wings is going to be popped by Banana Split to try to you know, counteract that.
Yeah, we did just see a silence on the Walrix with the double fear onto them with the Sheep on the DK, so great cross CC by the God Comp, and then just kind of switching on the Druid, so we do see the Bark Skin forced out by the Druid, so the God Comp, you know, I feel like they're getting kind of desperate with their Pally running Zoom, and they're trying to kind of force it on the Druid more so than maybe they should be, but, you know, this pressure from the DK is super high, and Gargoyle was just popped, so maybe this God Comp can have, you know, a chance, like, you know, within the next, you know, couple minutes to, you know, get their pressure to shine, because I feel like when the next Gargoyle comes out, it's going to be super hard for them, you know, to hold through that, but Ice Block is forced, so, yeah, Ice Block forced out there on that Soul Reaper, so
he actually canceled his Ice Block right away, too, which I think could be a mistake, because there's this Asphyxiate on the Pally, and he may have gotten over-aggressive here. I mean, he's trying to go offensive onto this Ellie Shaman. The Silence does come out on the Druid. He's going to sit through that, though, with Shaman Rage up, and, you know, Guardian is going to be used there by Banana Split. He's going to be able to top him back up for now, but Katasura may go down. He's down to 70k HP, catches a big heal there. The VT Dispel caught by Terrax, and he is going to have to sit through that. IBF pop by Katasura. He's trying to push in and stay offensive. Banana Split low. Healing stack getting pretty low as well. And this LEDK is getting a lot more pressure in this second game, I have to say. You know, healing stat, once again, getting relatively low. And we can see this Ellie has just been able to kind of turret from the middle of the bridge for so much of this game. And I feel like his damage has been so much higher this time around. The bop does come out there onto Shake Milk, and I think he's going to be okay.
Yeah, the bop coming out of Shake Milk, so really good job by healing stat, kind of recognizing that pressure's coming in. But they're going to switch it over on healing stat. We do see the DP actually being reflected, so they must be playing Reflect Matters or Reflect Grounding or something, but so good play by them, but Walrix thrown into the silence, and Double Fear coming out onto that IBF, so great job by him, you know, kind of ceasing over that cooldown used by him, not dipping down too low, but I feel like this map is really showing itself, you know, to provide, you know, a great thing for this Ellie Shaman DK team, you know. this Pally team's having a very hard time, dipping down to 20% mana. We do see the Cyclone coming out to healing stat. I'd like to see more Cyclones on the Mage. I feel like, shutting down that Mage, shutting down that Shadow Priest with those defensive Cyclones would really help this LA Shaman Druid team a lot more. But, they're doing a good job living, so I guess I shouldn't really be complaining too much. The Mage, I think, has one Ice Block left. I do believe both buffs have been forced up from this Pally. Trinket's coming up for the Paladin, but I feel like it's going to come down to, more of a mana issue, more of a hard time healing through all this burst pressure. The Shaman's sitting there tunneling, but the Druid is forced into that deep freeze. No IBF available for that. The sound's coming out on the DK, but no real burst coming out. As we do see, the Hex was on a healing stat, not able to be dispelled. A full Cyclone, so they're chaining that CC on the Priest. They're chaining that CC on the Priest. Noisy is trouble. The Mage is dipping down super low. Soul Reaper out on him, being dispelled off. So good job by the Pally before that CC able to dispel that Soul Reaper.
Yeah, and there's a clone on the healing stat. It's just half though. Banana Split, sitting out of that CC. But Shake Milk getting down to about 100k HP, going to be in some trouble. Does catch a big heal there from Banana Split, but Banana Split, his mana is really starting to become an issue. He's down to 40k mana right now. We'll see if he's going to be able to get away. The Gargoyle just coming back up, and that's not a good situation to be in when you're almost doomed. The Death Rope does come back out onto Shake Milk. Sacrifice goes up onto him. He's going to be pulled right into the middle of the map, but he's going to shoot out that orb, and he's going to be trying to get some big damage here onto Walrix, who does have the silence on him. Got started taking a little bit of damage as well. The Wings does come out there from Banana Split. The Clone is going to be triggered by Healing Stat there. The PvP Trinket does come out as well from Shake Milk. So Shake Milk and the Shadow Priest both having used their trinkets there. Gargoyle still just kind of turning away on that damage. Does get shackled by the Priest, so nice job by them, and they really haven't been doing a good job dispelling that Gargoyle at all. Maybe it's just been on cooldown, but it's pretty important, I think. The thing hits so hard.
Yeah, Gargoyle is definitely huge pressure. We did see a really, really sick play out coming up from the Shaman of the Druid Shaman DK team. He trinketed a full hot to Tremor's Druid Fear, and the Shadow Priest wasted his silence on the trinket, so really good job by him, kind of wasting their cooldowns and being really effective with his trinkets. That's really good. But Shake Milk is forcing the Ice Block, does end up being gripped up by a Shadow Priest, takes that off. Playing defensive, their Pally is at 9k mana. They're so low. They're all dipped, this is a really, really bad time for the Shadow Priest DK. They kind of just went for a burst there. They went for a burst with that Double Fear of the silences. It wasn't really that effective. And we do see the Priest, pushing it, but is thrown into the Cyclone. Shake Milk dipping super low. We see the Bob coming out on that fixate on the Pally. So really, really good job by him rotating through those cooldowns. That Bob coming back up. But we do see the pressure just instantly switch over to healing stat. This Shaman DK team isn't afraid to hit anything in the middle of the map. The LA Shaman just there is turning his blue and white lightning bolts. I mean, he's crazy. LA Shaman's in the middle. Shake Milk's dipping down, to half health Pally, popping his Guardian of Ancient Kings, trying to keep up against this pressure. But I mean, the LA Shaman team, they're all sitting so high. We haven't really seen any CC coming on them yet. They're playing so far back. It feels like this Pally team's kind of scared to push in right now. But healing stat is kind of pushing anyway with the Hand of Sacrifice, trying to do things for them, trying to get things going.
We see the Clone coming out on healing stat though, and they're going to be going over onto Shake Milk. Shake Milk taking some damage here. Banana Split, he keeps getting low on mana, but he's never getting fully tapped out, so it's not really been a big issue just yet. We do see the Shake Milk healing stat, both pretty low here though. Banana Split does have some work to do to try to catch them back up, but oh my god! The burst onto Shake Milk! He just gets evaporated. I don't even know what that was. He went from about 300,000 to dead instantly. There was no in between, from about 300k HP to 0. There was nothing, and he doesn't get the block off. He's gonna fall, and the DK does outdamage the Shadow Priest this time around. The damage number is much more in favor of this DK LE team this time. Pretty insane, man. That was ridiculous burst at the end.
I was like, oh, he might be in trouble. Oh my god, he just died. I'm like, wow. Well then, okay. LA Shaman, yeah, but it was a much better game played by the Druid Shaman DK team. They weren't, we saw in Negrin, they were under pressure the entire game. It was huge. Every single, every minute, they were, someone was dead. This time they ended up doing a lot better. I think that was basically due to map, though. I feel like map did help them a lot there.
Yeah, it did, and it's going to be the other team's map pick this time around. So
yeah, that's definitely the disadvantage of when you lose first is you don't have last map pick if you win on your map. The other team has the deciding factor, which is unfortunate, but it's just the way the game goes.
Yeah, for sure. And it's really kind of surprising to me how little they're CCing Banana Split. The fact that they won that game, and that was a long game, and they CC'd him 3 times. That's counting stuns, silences, anything.
Yeah, so I think they asphyxiated 3 times. That was about it.
They just don't CC him at all. That's crazy to me. But Shake Milk, on the other hand, look how much he's been CC'd. He was CC'd for 3 full minutes of that game. Compared to the 7 seconds of his Pally.
Yeah, that's really crazy. I'm wondering if that's a bug, because I don't think this Druid team was I was watching the game and they didn't really clone him.
He was getting hexed a lot, I guess, but
I
I'm not
guess
sure.
hexes, but I mean, 3 minutes of hexes? There's
Yeah,
no way.
I don't know, man. Maybe it's incorrect, but the Pally definitely is not getting
Yeah,
CC
but
very
probably
much.
definitely, yeah, it's getting CC, yeah, for
He's
sure.
getting CC very little.
Yeah,
So
but that's the thing. Like, have you ever fought against like like a warrior Ellie team, like warrior Ellie monk, or like
yeah, yeah.
something like that? Like, you
Unfortunately, I
don't see.
have.
Yeah, yeah, I know. Unfortunately, as a warlock, I can bet that be the bane of your existence. But they don't CC your healer. I mean, like maybe like a stormbolt or something, but they
Yeah.
don't CC. They just fucking kill it. Like, it's just over.
Yeah, it's really fun fighting Ellie, Warrior, Monk as a Warlock, man. You got lots of
Yeah,
feels
I
against
know.
that team.
What's your potential? I mean, you're just carrying the warrior on cooldown. He can't
Oh
do
yeah,
anything
oh
about
yeah.
it.
He's just
Just,
CC'd all
yeah.
day, man.
Nope.
It's good thing that those warriors can go undead too. Otherwise they'd be in
I mean,
trouble.
what would
Man.
happen? I mean, God, the game would just be so imbalanced for warlocks if warrior could go undead. It couldn't go undead. No?
Yep, exactly. All right,
Be the overlords of arena.
oh, they would, man. So, all right, we are going to be going into runes. So that is going to be the next pick. And
Surprising map choice, actually. I'm not sure if I'd pick runes, but I mean, I guess they feel like line of sight is a big issue for them. Like,
yeah,
trying to get to that druid, like the pillars and stuff when the shaman team is pulling back. So maybe it would be aggressive. They're just trying to force the druid at a position to CC him more.
yeah. I think that it makes sense. And we saw they actually got their first win by killing the druid, right? So maybe they're looking to do that as well. Let me define the teams actually this time around.
Yeah, runes is the healing training map if there ever was one.
Yeah, it is the ultimate healer slayer map. So, okay, so I have to 1, 2, 3 Stormbolt. Okay, that's the name of the godcomp. Apply.
But healing stat and those guys were in that last gas percents tournament, I believe it was. I think they were playing in that. And I think they did fairly well.
I haven't watched those. So anyway, we're gonna be getting into the game pretty soon. Yeah, I think it's up. Okay. Perfect.
Oh, people are saying it's not Warranks, it's ZP. Or ZP, whatever. He named his character Walrus. I think Walrus is actually the warlock. I'm not sure.
I'm not
I think
sure.
I don't know. Whatever. We'll just call him by his name on screen. It's easier that way for everyone.
Well, if they want to be called by their real name, then they should name their characters the right thing.
Go name.
That's what I'm going to say about that. It's that's all there is to it. Anyway, we are going to be starting this off. We do have Shake Milk charging on in. And looking at some early damage out here. We'll see what's going to be happening. He just get hexed up immediately on his blink. He's going to trigger that right away, and I'm somehow zoomed in, and I don't know how you zoom out in this UI, but anyway, we do see Healing Stat taking quite a bit of damage, and Walrex is going to be MCS. He's taking some damage as well. And I will try to figure this out. You can maybe commentate, and I'll press some random buttons.
So we did the DK Ellie Shaman kind of, trying to open on that Holy Pally. They did through the Gargoyle, through the 68, but that didn't work out too well. But you see the clone coming with Holy Pally. Maybe it's, oh my god, huge damage coming to the sword. The silence comes in. That doesn't have to trigger that silence with the DP on him, trying to use his Death Knight cooldowns. And the disarm comes under wall ring, so huge pressure coming on that DK. Great silence, but great trinket by him recognizing that DKs are so useless with their silence. They can't use any of their defensive abilities. We do see the deep coming out of that Druid. Maybe a sheep to come out on that. We're not sure yet. And the MCS comes out on the Shaman, NS comes out from the Druid onto Walrus. Oh my goodness, huge shield, 250,000 NS crit onto the Shaman. So, they're all topped off now. That was the burst of this Pally team, so we're going to see the pressure kind of shifting back over from this Druid Shaman team. The Sheep comes out into Katsura, though. Not sure if there's a Dispel available for that. There isn't, in fact, so that is a full Sheep sitting onto that Death Knight. Really, really great job from this Holy Pally godcomp, recognizing when that Dispel cooldown is down, using that to the maximum effect that they can. The ring is on the pillar. The 3 people are actually being caught in that, so great job at that. The Hex does come on to Shake Milk. He did Trinket down the opener, as Azale had said, so he is going to have to sit that. And Healing Stat, dipping down to around half health. The Full Fear does come on the Druid, though Shamwell being popped by this Ellie Shaman.
The Freeze just got reflected, man, by the meta, I'm pretty sure.
Oh,
so
the reflects your OP!
Yeah, he's gonna be just trying to get some big damage out on the Shake Milk here, and I'm sorry about this, guys. I don't know how to zoom out, but MCS does come out on Katasura. He's gonna catch the Iron Bark as well. Was taking some damage, but not looking like he's in too much trouble. And oh my god, this is such a clusterfuck on the tomb with the zoom in, man. It's bad.
Try pressing I think F11 is like free camera mode, and you can kind of move with your WS keys out. Might help you.
Yeah, this is why we're gonna watch it. Alright, so we do have Shake Milk down to about 200k. He's taking quite a lot of damage, actually. He does catch the freedom. He's going to be trying to kite out of there. Asphyxiate did come out on Banana Split. Healing Stat now taking some damage. The clone off that. That's the first clone I've seen him in the whole series. He's going to trigger that immediately. And we're going to see what they're going to be able to get done. There are a couple icicles right now saved up onto Shake Milk, and we do see that he's going to be looking to get some big damage out on this Ellie Shaman, just trying to, once again, stack up those icicles, goes for the Frostbolt, does get it off, and I like how he's playing this. I like that he's not just spamming out Ice Lances, he's actually holding his icicles and waiting for the proper burst. There's the Deep Freeze onto the Druid. They're going to be bursting onto this Ellie Shaman. He does get silenced up, and he's down to half HP, disarmed off that, down to 200k HP. Is catching some big heals, so looks like he will be okay for now, and Shake Milk's the one in some trouble. He does get bopped as the Pally does get asphyxiate, but I think that might not be even be enough. He's just getting procced down through this bop. He's down about 80k HP, taking a lot of damage. We see that this DK is right on the back of him. The diseases go right back up onto Shake Milk. Shake Milk trying to cut away as best as he possibly can, trying to stay alive here. Katasura down to about 200k HP. It's going to be having to pull back a little bit. The Gargoyle is going to come out, though, and it looks like it's going to be coming out onto Healing Stat. Healing Stat could be in some trouble here. Banana Split down to 80k mana. A nice Shackle comes out onto the Gargoyle. Not looking like it's going to get dispelled again, unfortunately, though. And Katasura is going to have to actually just pull back. And, you know, the damage, not as much coming out as I would have expected with this Gargoyle.
Yeah, for sure. Shake Milk did not have to train that Hex when they were on Healing Stat hard, but you still see the full cycle coming in. He's that huge pressure coming in Shake Milk. Oh my god, dipping so low down to 100k, instantly 75k. We do see the Ice Block being forced out, so, you know, not being as ballsy that time, you know, making sure that he gets that off. Does not die there. Healing Banana Split is with the trinket, so be super careful, but the Healing Stat is dipping low. Oh my goodness, this Elliot Shaman is doing so much damage, but the Deep Freeze does come on onto the rest of Druid. Hodge interfere onto Walrus. He does end up trinketing all that and pressing his Tremor Totem, so great job of him. The Silence comes out onto Terrax, but might be able to put that Iron Bark there as the Iron Bark onto the Ellie Shaman, so snaring ward, so not too much getting done there, but they did force out that trigger from the Ellie Shaman, so the next kind of Fear Silence combination is going to be super, super powerful for them, so we're going to have to look out for that, and Healing Stat was just put into a DR Cyclone, does end up hitting on him, and not too much going on these two teams, you know. I feel like this Ellie Shaman team is going to try to line up on this mage as soon as possible, and with the CC on the Holy Pally, because the Holy Pally did actually have to either bop himself or bubble there, I'm not sure which one, but I do believe he probably bubbled there out of a stun or something, because you cannot bubble cyclone. But we just see the stun thrown up on now. We might see a bop, you know, thrown into Shake Milk, you know, trying to force stuff, but, you know, it was a DR stun, so he's going to go into that. But Walrus tipping down, super, that was the silence I was talking about, but he is Shamwalt. So really good job by him, you know, playing defensively, devouring play coming out on him. But I do believe the burst window's kind of over. The silence comes on the Druid kind of late. And I feel like they're going to be okay to play super, super aggressive on this mage now. They're going to be pushing up with the Bash on Healing Stat into a Cyclone. Pressure is definitely going to be coming on Shake Milk here. We see CC on that Pally dipping down to 160k, almost 60k. Oh my god, it just dies with the Guardian up. Not one CC thrown on that Holy Pally, but it doesn't even matter. The damage was just so big on him. Doesn't end up going down. Yeah, crazy kind of burst damage.
I'm not sure if he had his block back up or not.
I don't think he only blocked once that game.
Yeah, that's all I noticed. So I'm not sure. I mean, it seemed like kind of just two blocks of death.
Maybe he had the cold snap into a block the first time. I'm not sure, but oh my goodness! I mean, the Pally wasn't even CC'd. He popped his Guardian. Wasn't even able to keep him up through the pressure. Yeah. I mean, look, times CC'd 5. It's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
That's a 2-1 victory, I believe, for this Druid team.
Yeah, it is. It's going to be a 2-1 victory, and coming back from down a game to win 2 in a row. So very well played, and they did a really good job, honestly. The first game looked kind of rough for them, and they kind of played a lot better in the next 2 games, especially winning on the map that was their opponent's pick. So really well played. And I am going to try to find out how to zoom out. It's not actually in the instructions that we got, but the actual my zoom out bind doesn't work for some reason. So I'm not sure how to do this. But anyway, guys, if you are just tuning in, this is the ProGameX WoW Arena Spring Tournament. And you guys should head on over to check out ProGameX.com. You can follow them on Twitter as well. It is just at ProGameX.com. And they are a new website that is going to be having all kinds of cool events and things like that. And it's a little blurb that I've been given to read to you guys is ProGameX is a newly created gaming community. It's actually the powerful platform to show you your skills and be rewarded. It will directly connect you to top players. You can follow them, talk to them. You can play with the professionals as well and get coached. You can stay up to date with the most important events of the community, show matches, tournaments, and interactive streams. Build your teams, participate in tournaments, and it's already been developed for WoW. They're also going to add it for League of Legends and Dota 2, so check it out, guys. It is ProGameX.com. And the actual key bindings, the key bindings thing doesn't really work. It's not the key bindings for Zoom. It's a separate command when you're actually in the zoom in, zoom out in the actual commentator thing. So I'm not sure. Because zoom mouse wheel down doesn't work. That's the problem. Because this is like what I bound it to. Because if you press both mouse buttons at once, it zooms you in, but I'm not sure how you zoom out. I'll try to figure that out. But anyway, we're going to be going on to the next match, and it is going to be a Monk TSG going up against an LSD2. So that is Moonkin, I believe. And those teams are Hacks and Cleave versus Blue Laginia. I don't know.
The LSD versus which comp?
It's LSD2 versus a Monk TSG.
Oh.
Yeah.
The thing about Monk TSG is I feel like it's a very good comp against Shamans, but I feel like if they're playing against a team that has a Fear, it's really, really good. But when they're playing against a team that has a Fear and another instant CC that's on a different DR, for example, like a Mage with a Palm Poly, or in this case it's a Druid with an